Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about my gap year. I haven't really thought about or scripted this video at all, so we're just going to talk and see what happens. What on earth is that on the floor? Why is there rice on my floor? When was the last time we had rice? How did that get there? Yeah, so the theme of today's video is going to be, do I regret my gap year? The short answer is no, spoilers. So I guess I'm going to start with like the negative aspects of it and then go into the positive ones because there was way more positive ones. But I guess we'll start with the negative ones because they're the juicy answers that you're probably looking for. To be honest, there kind of isn't really many. I think the biggest negative, I don't really know, to be honest. Like, I guess at the time there was a lot of oh, my friends are off at uni doing all the uni stuff and they're ahead of me and I'm not, I'm stuck here. And I did feel that sometimes, but like not a lot of it, to be honest. There was a little bit of this aspect of like, oh, I'm at home and I can only see my friends when they are also home because they're all over the country now. But like, to be honest, it wasn't that big of a deal. I managed to keep busy enough where it didn't really affect it that much, and I did go and visit some friends sometimes, so I could like see their city and also like visit them and sort of see what university life was like. Very, very occasionally I'd be like, oh, look what they're all doing, wish I was doing that. But like, to be honest, it wasn't very often because most of the time what people post on social media would just be about like going out and like Freshers Week and things like that, and I wasn't that fussed about missing out on that. I knew I was going to get to do it, and I wasn't that bothered about it anyway because I'm not really big on that kind of thing. So I yeah, I didn't really feel like I missed out that much. I do think you know, the biggest thing probably was, oh, they're there and I'm here and they've all left and I'm still, you know, left behind. But in a lot of ways it didn't feel like that because I did so many really cool things in that year that I know that they weren't getting to do. So it kind of felt like, well, yeah, you're off to university and I'm gonna get to do that, but I'm getting to do all of this as well. Like I might be a year behind, like left behind, but you know, we're still I'm not missing out. I'm still going to get to do all these things, but I also get to do all of these other fun things in addition to that. And also things like I had friends who were still here, who were staying to do university locally, or were also on a gap year, or weren't going to university, they were doing other things. So like, it kind of ended up fine. And now, like, I would say my closest friends from here are people who didn't go off to university, and I don't feel like I lost out on friends. I just feel like I ended up creating a stronger bond with those people who stayed because I got to see them more, and also like I was working, so I was making friends through work. So yeah, honestly, I don't feel like I missed out that much on that. So that would be the only negative, but it was a little one. The positive side of things, I definitely feel like I was better equipped to start university. I didn't spend, it is raining a lot, I apologise if you can hear that. I didn't spend a lot of my gap year doing the whole like, oh, I'm going to learn how to cook, I'm going to learn how to properly do laundry and blah blah blah. Like, I just learned that when I went to uni. And I had, you know, like a basic skill level. I could look after myself. It wasn't like a big panic when I went to university. But I just felt like I was better equipped to like do a thing that I hadn't done before. I spent quite a lot of my gap year like travelling by myself or like doing like new, weird, scary things. Like being on Pointless was probably the biggest one. And it just felt like when it came to like going to university, you know, having to do my laundry for the first time wasn't a big deal. Whereas I felt like to a lot of people it was a big deal because the people that I was starting with tended to be people from the year below me in school who had just come into university straight away, and I did see a lot of like people panicking, so people either doing like eating nothing but pot noodles or doing the opposite and cooking these big elaborate meals, because they kind of thought that that was what it meant to be an adult and like being a successful adult, whereas I was just like living my normal life but not at university. And I also didn't get any of the like homesickness thing either, because I was so used to like going away for, you know, a week or so at a time, or a bit longer, that by the time it came to university I was kind of used to fending for myself. So it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I'm not saying that, you know, my parents did nothing for me over my gap year and I was fending for myself all the way through my gap year, but like, I don't know, it just felt like there was a transition period rather than just like A-levels, bam, by yourself. And I felt like I'd also matured a lot as a person as well. And I'm not saying that people who go straight into university were immature, but you could tell. The friends that I ended up making, or at least the initial friends that I made straight away, almost all of them were people who hadn't come straight to university, and I didn't know that until later on. They'd all be people who were my age, so a year older, or even a couple of years older, and they were just the people that I was drawn to. And I think it's because we were having, you know, a similar experience. We were on the same level. We weren't having that freak out. We were sort of just getting on with things, and it definitely felt different. Like, there definitely was a difference, and you could kind of tell a difference, like in the way that they acted. They were just a bit more, I don't know, like chill about these things, and a bit more. And I don't want to say mature because it makes it sound like I'm saying that people who don't take a gap year are immature when they come to university. But I don't think that's the case. Like, I definitely didn't think that, and like friends that I have now, a couple of them didn't take gap year and just came straight there. But I don't know, like, there was a difference, and I can tell the difference, and I feel like I still can tell a little bit of a difference. It's definitely different now that we're like midway through second year. I think it's sort of leveled out, but especially in first year, and especially at the start of first year, it was really obvious. The people who had, you know, taken that time to get a job, and to have to self-motivate for a year, and you know, just be separate from the education system for a year, though definitely was a difference. And I think that's something else that I was quite like grateful that I did as well, was that I did get a job, and I know that that's, you know, not everyone can get a job, especially at the moment, but we're not going to go into that yet. I did get a job, and I did work for a lot of my gap year, well, as much as they would let me, because I was only on a 4-hour contract, and I did as much overtime as they would let me do, but quite often there was none. So there'd be like a couple of months where I'd only be working that 4 hours a week, and then there'd be a couple of months where I'd take on like every overtime shift that they had. And I saved up a little bit of money, which has just ended up all going into Help to Buy ISA for the future, but it means that I do have that like safety net where, like, if for example, I use some of it to pay for the security deposit for my third year house, and things like that. Like, you can spend your gap year working really hard so that you have money for university, but I'm in a position where like my student loans cover everything, so it's fine. I don't actually need that money, but it's nice to have. It means that I can, like, you know, if something happens I can use it, or if I don't know, there's like a trip, and I want to go on the trip, I can use it for that. But not just the money side of things, it was just so helpful to have that practical experience in work. You know, I made friends there. I made a really close friend who I still talk to a lot. It was just nice to be able to like know what it's like to work a really awful job, and to learn what retail workers actually go through on a day-to-day basis. And even if you did appreciate retail workers before then, it hits a bit different, you know. If you've done it. I learned how to endure utter boredom. Now, like, you know, I'll do things that were a little bit boring, and they don't feel the same, because I know what it's like to have complete and utter, like, counting the seconds for hours boredom. So now, you know, if I'm in a boring lecture or I've got like a long car journey, like since I've done that, nothing has felt quite as boring. I've never been completely, totally bored because I learned how to deal with it. I just learned how to entertain myself because it was so mind-numbing at times. You know, I learned how to interact with the public a bit better. I learned how to problem solve. I learned how to be self-sufficient and how to please management even when you don't agree with what they're saying, and just things like that. It was just a really, really useful experience. It also taught me a lot about like time management and like filling my own time, and I don't know, I just had a really nice experience. Like I got to say yes to things that I wanted to say yes to. I got to spend my time doing the things that I wanted to do. I got to try out things that I wanted to try out. I got to travel a bit. I got to, you know, learn that I really like travelling, and I got to go on, you know, Pointless, and I got to try out some like new skills and just have like a load of really weird and cool experiences that would not have happened otherwise. I made a whole video about what I did in my gap year. It's on my channel somewhere. So yeah, I really, really, really would recommend taking one. I had a fantastic time. You know, whatever your reason for taking it is, maybe you spend the whole time working, maybe you spend the whole time travelling, maybe you spend the whole time doing what I did, which was like all of these things. Maybe you spend the time just being at home and learning a skill or whatever. Like it was just a really good experience, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's thinking about it. Another reason why I don't regret it right now is because of the C word. We're currently in self-isolation due to COVID-19, which I'm sure if you're watching this when I release it you will know that. But if you're watching this in the future, you may not. Hi, welcome to self-isolation. And basically it means that I'm in my second year at university right now. If I had not taken the gap year, I would have been in my third year. A lot of my peers, a lot of my friends from school, a lot of, you know, the people my age are currently in third year. They're not getting a graduation, they don't know if they are graduating, they don't know what's happening to their dissertation, they're not getting their final shows, they're not getting to do their showcases, their experiments, their whatever they were doing that they've been building up to for years and years and years and years and years. So I am very, very lucky to be in second year and have that year. It is obviously destroyed in my second year. It means that I don't get another term, and also the strikes last term meant that I'm only getting about half of the teaching that I was promised at the start of the year, that I expected at the start of the year. I'm only getting about half of it this year, but it does mean that you know, and it does mess around some of my assessments, some of my assignments and exams and things which do contribute to my degree, but it is affecting my dissertation a little bit, but it's not majorly affecting my dissertation. I still know that I have, you know, a year and a bit of student loans coming in, student finance coming in, I should say, sorry. It means that I have the university support, so they have the emergency fund that I can apply for if I need it, blah blah blah. I'm not missing out on graduation. It would have been a bit better if it had happened in first year, but not for me as an archaeology student at York, because I would have missed out on the excavation, which I didn't miss out on. So honestly, in university terms, like if I'd taken 2 years out, I would have been in first year and missed the excavation. If I'd taken no years out, I would have been in third year and missed my graduation. So it's honestly worked out pretty well. So yeah, this was a long, pretty rambly video. I think I'm going to try and minimal editing to just keep it sort of a chat about this. If you have any questions about taking a gap year, if you're thinking about it, you want any tips, leave them down in the comments. That's what I was going to say. I also have a couple of videos on it on my channel. So yeah, that's everything. This is the video that you guys voted for on Instagram, so I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, guys, during the outbreak, but stay safe if it's not during the outbreak anymore, unless this is it forever. Okay, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. New videos every Wednesday. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I'll see you next week. The camera's really far away.